In the last video, we saw how to write and execute queries in MongoDB. In this video, we will learn how to create an API in our Node.Express server that execute queries in MongoDB directly from our code, and without even the need of touching Mongo shell. In fact, we will connect our server to MongoDB using a very popular npm package called Mongoose. First thing, we go to terminal and install Mongoose. Because we will write a lot of code in our server, I advise you to install a Node utility called Nodemon. This utility will monitor your server for any changes and automatically restart it if it notices something has changed in the source code. If you never use Nodemon, first install it globally. Then you install locally as dev dependency. Now, if running, stop your server and run the command nodemon. From now on, your server will automatically restart every time you make changes in the source code. Finally, remember to start your MongoDB server as well. At this point, we have everything ready to set up our API. First thing we need to do is to create a schema of books collection and a model. So inside the main app directory, we create a new folder called models. And inside models, we create a new file, books.js. In books.js, we firstly import Mongoose, and remember that in here we are writing code for Node.Express, and therefore we are not using ES6 JavaScript syntax. And we then create the object schema of our books collection. Finally, we create the model by passing the schema to the model method in Mongoose. Now we move to app.js server file, right above our get root. And I recommend you to add a comment to mark the code we are about to write. In fact, soon we will create a new API server and you will need to move this code in there. First thing we need is to require Mongoose and then use the connect method in Mongoose to connect with our MongoDB server. So we write the address of our MongoDB server, which is MongoDB//localhost 27017 and then Bookshop. Bookshop will be the name of our database. We didn't create any database yet with this name in our MongoDB server, but no worries, because Mongoose will create the Bookshop database automatically together with the books collection taken from our model. Okay, now it's time to write our post API. Let me write it down and then I will explain you how it works. First of all, from our client, we will launch a post request via HTTP at the /books address, and we will pass an array of books in the body. We copy the array in the book variable, and we will pass it as first argument to the mongoose create method. Mongoose create method is for saving one or more documents to the database. Once the document is saved, we get the response from MongoDB server. If it's an error, it will throw an error. Otherwise, it will return a JSON with the submitted books. Before we actually implement the client part of the code to call our API, it's good practice we firstly test if the API is actually working. There are various API clients tools for testing APIs, such as Postman and many others. My favorite is Advanced REST Client because it's free and it doesn't require to register an account. So go to advancedrestclient.com and press on Get It Now. It's a Chrome extension, so you will download from Chrome App Store. Once Advanced REST Client is open, you just write the address of the API you want to test. You then select the method. In our case, we are testing a post method. Then you choose the content type, and you have plenty of options, but we want to deal with JSONs. You then add some raw data, which will be added to the body of the request. Let's post an array of 2 books. Finally, we press on send and we get a positive response of 200 from the server, which means that our request was successfully executed. Down here you can also see the response of the server, which is the expected array of books. To have visibility of the response is quite important, because mostly of the time we will end up using this data. If you are wondering how does it look your MongoDB after the first post request to the API, just open RoboMongo. If you right click on the connection name and select refresh, you should see now that our API has created a database called Bookshop. If you double click Books Collection, you will see that it contains the array we just post to our API. Now that you know how to test your API, we can proceed writing the rest of methods.